CSB Bank Limitedന്റെ ഈ സന്തോഷ അവസരത്തിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളെ ഏവരെയും ഹൃദയം നിറഞ്ഞ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of CSB Bank Limited, formerly the Catholic Syrian Bank, we extend a very warm welcome to all of you and welcome you to the listing of the bank here at NSE. Today truly is a momentous occasion and a significant milestone for the company. CSB Bank is one of the oldest private sector banks in India and has a strong base in Kerala. Its promoter is FIHM, a wholly owned subsidiary of Fairfax India Holdings Corporation. The bank has a significant presence in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. It offers a wide range of products and services to their overall customer base of 1.3 million, with particular focus on SME, retail, and NRI customers. It delivers products and services through multiple channels, including 412 branches, excluding 3 service branches and 3 asset recovery branches, and 290 ATMs spread across 16 states and 4 union territories. CSB believe with their focus on quality of service and nurturing long-term relationship with their customers, they have developed a well-recognized and trusted brand in South India, especially in the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The bank distributes life insurance products of Edelweiss Tokyo Life Insurance Company Limited, HDFC Life Insurance Company, and ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Company Limited, and general insurance products of ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company Limited and Reliance General Insurance Company Limited. The new organizational setup and infusion of capital by the promoter has given the bank a strong balance sheet to focus on growth. To tell us more, we have with us the key management team of CSB Bank Limited, and to represent them on the dais, we have the heads of the company who are stalwarts in their respective fields. We also have luminaries from the world of investment banking and capital markets. It is now my pleasure to invite them all onto the dais and welcome them with a bouquet of flowers. May I have the privilege of inviting Mr. Madhavan Menon, Chairman, CSB Bank Limited. May I invite CVR Rajendran, Managing Director and CEO, CSB Bank Limited. Thank you, sir. May I invite PV Anthony, Head IPO, CSB Bank Limited. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Salil Pitle, Axis Capital Limited. Thank you, sir. May I invite H. Nemkumar, IIFL Securities Limited. May I now invite the host of the day, Ishita Vora, National Stock Exchange. Thank you, ma'am. To mark an auspicious beginning, I now invite all our distinguished guests on the dais to kindly proceed down to light the traditional lamp. May I also invite Mr. Vikram Limaye, MD and CEO of National Stock Exchange, to join our distinguished guests in the lighting of the lamp. The moment that we have been waiting for, I would request the dignitaries to kindly gather near the bell. And please join me in the countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, CSB Bank Limited is now officially listed on the stock exchanges. There you go. Let's hear it for CSB Bank Limited, officially listed on all stock exchanges. Truly a momentous occasion for CSB Bank Limited. Let's hear some whistles as well. I would request our special guests to kindly remain at the bell for a special photo op. To celebrate this momentous occasion, we also have a special cake. May I request all the guests and the dignitaries to kindly do the honors? Many hearty congratulations to CSB Bank Limited now. Congratulations, sir, and the celebrations have officially begun now. Let's hear a loud round of applause for CSB Bank. Congratulations once again, CSB Bank Limited. And thank you all for joining us for this momentous occasion here.
Good morning, everyone. Now the time is 11 a.m. and it is time to begin the 99th annual general meeting of the bank. I invite the chairman, Sri Madhav Menon, to welcome the shareholders and to start the proceedings of AGM. Thank you.
Thank you, Sijo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Madhavan Menon, chairman of CSB Bank. I am attending this meeting from my residence in Mumbai. A warm welcome to you all to the 99th general meeting of the CSB Bank Limited. This meeting is being held through video conferencing and other audio-visual means in accordance with the CSB circular, with the circular issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI in view of the continuing COVID-19 pandemic and the social distancing norm to be followed. The bank has taken the requisite steps to enable members to participate and vote on the items being considered at this AGM in terms of the above-mentioned circulars, along with other provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and rules made thereunder. A live streaming of this meeting is also being webcast on NSDL's website. Before we start the main proceedings of the meeting, I request my colleagues on the video conference to introduce themselves. Mr. CVR Rajendran.
Good morning, everyone. I am CVR Rajendran, Managing Director and CEO of the bank. I am attending this AGM from the bank's head office in Thrissur.
Mr. Madhavan Arvamuthan.
Good morning, everyone. I am Madhavan Arvamuthan. I am attending this AGM from my office at Indiranagar, Chennai. Thank you.
Mr. Sumit Maheshwari.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sumit Maheshwari. I am attending this meeting from residence in Mumbai.
Mr. Thomas Matthew.
Good morning, everyone. I am Thomas Matthew, Independent Director. I am joining this AGM from my residence in Mumbai. I am also the chairman of the Audit Committee and Shareholders Relationship Committee of the board. Thank you.
Mrs. Bama Krishnamurthy.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bama Krishnamurthy, Independent Director of the bank. I'm attending this AGM from my residence at Mumbai. I'm also the chairperson of Nomination and Remuneration Committee of the board.
Mr. S. Nagur Ali Jinnah.
Good morning, everyone. I am S. Nagur Ali Jinnah. I am Independent Director attending from my home at Tiruchirappalli, the AGM, 99th AGM. I am also the chairman of the CSC and CSC committee, and also the other one or two committees which. Thank you.
I request the CFO of the company and secretary on the video conference to introduce themselves.
Good morning,
Mr.
everyone.
B.K. Devakar.
Good morning, everyone. I am B.K. Devakara, CFO, attending from the head office of the bank in Thrissur.
Mr. Sijo Varghese.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sijo Varghese, Company Secretary, joining from head office of the bank in Thrissur.
Thank you all. Apart from that, we also have Mr. P.V. Anthony, General Manager Accounts, and other key executives of the bank joining this meeting through video conference from their respective locations. Mr. Shri P.M. Veeramani, Senior Partner of RGN Price and Company, Chartered Accountants Kochi, the statutory central auditors of the bank, is attending this meeting from Kochi. Mr. Shri Vincent PD, Managing Partner of Messrs. SVJS and Associates, Company Secretaries Ernakulam, and the secretarial auditors of the bank of the company are attending from Cochin. We have the requisite quorum present through video conference to conduct the proceedings of this meeting. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum as per the circulars issued by the Ministry of Company Affairs and Section 103 of the Companies Act of 2013. The quorum being present, I call this meeting to order. The bank has taken all feasible efforts under the current circumstances to enable members to participate through video conference and vote at the AGM. I thank all members, colleagues on the board, auditors, and the management team for joining this meeting over a video conference. I hope all of you are safe and in good health. The register of directors and key management personnel, the register of contracts with related party and contracts and bodies, etc., in which the directors are interested, certificate from the statutory auditors in terms of Regulation 13 of SEBI, share-based employee benefits, Regulation 2014 Employee Stock Option Scheme 2019 with changes proposed, Articles of Association with changes proposed, Auditor's Report and Secretarial Audit Report have been made available electronically for inspection by members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send their requests to investors@csb.co.in. As the AGM is being held through video conference, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members is not allowed, and hence there is no proxy register for inspection in respect to the said meeting. The bank has provided the facility to cast the votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who have not cast their votes yet electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by NSDL, provided they are not barred from doing so otherwise. Members can click on the Vote tab on the video conference screen to avail of this feature. Those shareholders who have cast their votes by remote e-voting prior to the AGM can also attend the AGM, but shall be entitled to cast their votes again. Shall not be entitled to cast their votes again. This being the AGM held through video conferencing and other audiovisual means, I request Shri Sijo Verghese, Company Secretary, to take you through certain instructions regarding the participation at this meeting.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Members may note that this AGM is being held through video conference in accordance with the Companies Act 2013 and the circulars issued by the MCA and SEBI. The facility of participation at the AGM through video conferencing or other audiovisual means is being made available to all the members as it detailed in the AGM notice. All members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute mode by the host to avoid any disturbances arising from background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Bank has received a request from a few members to register themselves as speakers at the meeting. Accordingly, the floor will be open for these members to ask questions or express their views. The moderator will facilitate this session once the chairman opens the floor for question and answers. Members are requested to refer to the instruction provided in the notice or appearing in the video conference page for a seamless participation through video conference. In case members face any difficulty, they may reach out on the helpline numbers. Thank you very much. Now it is a time for chairman's speech. I request Sri Madhav Menon, chairman, to address the shareholders.
Thank you very much, Sijo. It has been an eventful and rewarding year as the chairman of the board of CSB Bank, and it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to the 99th annual general meeting of your bank, which is happening in the centenary year of the bank. It also marks the first AGM of the bank being held virtually. Firstly, I would like to use this opportunity to introduce your MD and CEO, Mr. CVR Rajendran. I would also like to introduce the members of the board, starting with Mr. Madhavan Aravamuttam, Mr. Thomas Matthew, Mr. Sumit Maheshwari, Mrs. Bhama Krishnamurthy, and Mr. Syed Nagurali Jinnah. As we have joined in the 99th annual general meeting of your bank, The entire world is gripped with the COVID-19 pandemic and is trying to overcome the adverse impact of the pandemic, especially in terms of the financial and healthcare disruptions that come with it. My deepest sympathies to all those who have either lost their dear ones or have been affected by it during this period. The state of Kerala's efforts in fighting and controlling the spread of COVID is often quoted both internationally and domestically as a successful model. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the government of Kerala, headed by the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, and the unrelenting efforts of the Honorable State Health Minister, Srimati K.K. Shailaja. We at the bank have taken all prescribed protocols for the safety of our employees. From the customer side, all customers were encouraged to use mobile, internet banking, and other technology platforms, and our teams facilitated the process by helping clients go online. In terms of RBI's COVID-19 regulatory packages, your bank introduced several new products and initiated steps to defer the installments and interest EMI on term loans falling due between March 1st, 2020 and May 31st, 2020, extending the repayment period initially by 3 months and subsequently extending them for another 3 months. Your bank is coping with the situation on one side while trying to maximize market share by leveraging its strengths in driving growth in key customer segments on the other side. The year 2020 is the centenary year of your bank. The bank, which has witnessed many a global, national, and industrial upheavals in the past, has managed to survive it all. One of the precious founding legacies the bank inherited from the yesteryears is trust, and we will safeguard it with our utmost as our most important corporate value proposition. As chairman of the bank, I remain committed to nurturing and furthering this legacy of trust. A pronounced event which happened in the 100th year of its existence is the successful listing of its shares on the bourses after the initial public offering of shares of the bank. This is a unique event in the corporate world. Your bank's initial public offering of shares received a massive response from all classes of the investor community, and the issue was oversubscribed by 86.92 times. Another major milestone in the history of your bank is the completion of the acquisition of a 51% stake by the bank in the bank by FIH Mauritius Investments, a Fairfax Group company. This investment gave a major thrust to the bank's capital adequacy requirement and will facilitate a growth acceleration in the coming years. On the financial side, the financial year 2020 was marked by improved operating profitability and further strengthening of the balance sheet of the bank, as well as new strategic initiatives by the bank. For the financial year 2020, your bank has reported an operating profit of rupees 280.58 crores as against rupees 13.36 crores in the financial year 2019, a year-on-year increase of 20 times. Your bank has reported a net profit of rupees 12.72 crores in the financial year 2020 as against a net loss of rupees 197.42 crores in the financial year 2019. This is after taking a one-time hit of rupees 87 crores due to the remeasurement of deferred tax assets and reversal of the minimum alternative tax credit to exercise the option permitted under Section 115BAA of the Income Tax Act of 1961 as introduced by the Taxation Laws Amendment Ordinance 2019, which would help the bank to avail a lower tax regime in the coming years. Your bank's earnings per share and book value per share as on March 31st, 2020 improved and stood at rupees 0.88 and rupees 113.04 respectively, as against a negative growth of rupees 23.73 and 108.10 as on 31st of March 2019. The bank's return on equity stood at 0.99% as against a negative growth of 26.13% for the previous fiscal year. I would like to use this opportunity to thank Mr. Rajendran and all the employees for their sustained efforts for turning around the bank. Today, we are at the cusp of a major transformation. We believe that this cultural transformation will attract the right talent to the bank. Your bank is employing solutions for regaining profitability at a post-crisis level, for which transformations focused on enterprise-wide efficiency and simplification, updating operating models, rolling out emerging technologies, etc., all of which are being put into place as we talk. Corporate social responsibility. The bank continued with CSR activity during the period under review in a limited way, though it was not mandatory to spend for the said period in terms of Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013 and the CSR rules of 2014. As a responsible institution, the bank will continue with a slew of measures for fulfillment of its commitment to society as a whole. So to conclude, the long-term impact of the coronavirus remains unpredictable. However, we are optimistic about the inherent medium and long-term potential of the Indian economy and confident that our economy will bounce back to its earlier glory, full of opportunities. Once growth does rebound, it will lead to many opportunities for all sectors of the economy, including the financial sector. In the last few years, the banking system and the bank have gone through challenging periods with an elongated credit cycle and accumulated stress in the system. But the changes are now visible and resolutions have gathered pace, allowing your bank to prepare for a new phase of growth, albeit the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact of which cannot be estimated at the moment. In tune with the prevailing situation, your bank has undertaken several initiatives to secure a sustainable and profitable future. Many of these initiatives are internal and aimed at making structural changes within the bank. They will continue to strengthen the bank's core and improve its profitability going forward. We will strive our best for creating value and delivering long-term profitable growth for all our stakeholders in the years to come. Mr. Rajendran's vision and leadership has been exemplary and having guided the bank to stability and now preparing for its growth. I will use this opportunity to thank him and wish him all the very best. I would like to use this opportunity to once again thank Mr. Rajendran and the entire management team for their efforts in turning around the bank, as well as laying the foundation for a strong and successful future for the bank. On behalf of my colleagues on the board, we place on record our gratitude for the support and guidance extended by the Government of India, the Reserve Bank of India, SEBI, stock exchanges, Indian Banks Association, and other authorities. We would also like to place on record our sincere appreciation to all our employees, unions, customers, investors, and other stakeholders for their unstinted support to the bank as always, especially during this lockdown. As you may be aware, I am stepping down as the part-time chairman of the bank on completion of my term. I would like to thank members of the board, employees of the bank, the shareholders, and most importantly, Mr. Rajendran, for all the cooperation extended to me during my term. It has been an honor to have been the part-time chairman in a year when the bank went public, celebrates its centenary year, and its return to profitability, and I will cherish these memories. I will also use this opportunity to thank Fairfax India Holdings Corporation, the majority shareholder, led by Mr. Prem Vatsa, Chairman Fairfax India Holdings Corporation and Fairfax Financial Holdings, Mr. Chandran Ratnaswamy, CEO Fairfax India Holdings, and Mr. Sumit Maheshwari, Director Fairfax India. Lastly, it would be a gross injustice if I did not thank Mr. Sijo Verghese, the company secretary, for his dedication and availability around the clock to answer all my calls and my queries. Thank you very much. Please stay safe and be blessed. Now may I request Mr. CVR Rajendran, Managing Director and CEO, to address the shareholders. Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of the bank, I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the 99th Annual General Meeting of CSB Bank Limited. The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the socio-economic well-being of people at large. But we humans have the wisdom, energy, and power to live through such situations. And with the support of progressive technology, we should and ought to overcome the challenges in our journey ahead. We should adapt to post-COVID norms as to ensure the purpose of business continuity, upholding customer service. Looking at it positively, the way this meeting is conducted over VC does meet the purpose of it in the most convenient manner, ensuring participation and seamless communication with our stakeholders adhering to the prevailing protocols. I'm sure and optimistic the focused efforts being put by central and respective state governments will play the requisite support role in the new normalcy for the community. 2020 is the centenary year for CSB, and I'm really privileged to be part of this organization, which enjoyed the trust of many generations to have a jubilant entry to its 100th year. At this juncture, we are on a journey aiming at transforming ourselves into a full-service, new-age private sector bank, driven by our new vertical business model, technology adoption, and prudent risk management. The last financial year was eventful, and the most significant achievement was the listing of the bank share in the Indian stock exchanges. Your bank's IPO was a huge success with 87 times oversubscription, and I take this opportunity to thank one and all who made this possible. Bank could substantially improve upon the capital adequacy front, with FIHM pumping the second tranche of capital last year. Another key event was the rebranding exercise, whereby our name changed from the Catholic Syrian Bank Limited to CSB Bank Limited. We were also successful in getting a top-notch rating of A1+ to the certificate of deposits to the extent of 2,000 crores and short-term deposits to the extent of 2,000 crore program of the bank. In order to grab additional market share business opportunities, we have opened 10 branches in the financial year 2020 so far. The annual report of the bank for the year 2019-20 is already made available to you, and with your kind permission, I take it as read. This is the first such report post-listing. Let me summarize the major highlights of fiscal 2020. Gold loan portfolio continued to be the prime driver with a growth of 28% during the financial year 20. Our corporate book saw an increase of 11%. The newly started Agri and MFI vertical had a closing book of about 160 crores as on 31/3/2020. Two-wheeler vertical also had decent contribution with the limited concentration in the state of Kerala. Now, coming to the financial parameters, bank could turn around with a profit before tax of 134 crores in the current financial year as against a continuous loss before tax history in the past 5 years. Our net profit stood at rupees 13 crores after taking one-time hit of rupees 87 crore on account of movement to new tax regime. Net interest income of the bank improved from rupees 440 crores to rupees 592 crores, recording a growth rate of 35%. Treasury gains, sale of ESLC, recovery of bad debts, and growth in fee income helped to boost the non-interest income from rupees 136 crores to 222 crores. Total staff costs for financial year amounted to rupees 331 crore with a decrease of 14% year-on-year. Additional depreciation amounting to rupees 27.06 crores was accounted towards the valuation of security receipts. The gross and net NPA levels as on 31/3/2020 were 3.54 and 1.91 respectively, vis-a-vis 4.87 and 2.27 as on 31/3/19. Our net NPA is at 217 crores against a level of 241 crores on 31/3/2019. CD ratio of the bank improved by 200 basis points from 76% to 78%. CASA ratio of the bank improved to 29.17%. Provision coverage ratio of the bank stood at 80.02%. Yield on advances improved from 9.88 to 10.56%. NIM improved from 2.51 to 3.20 with an increase of 69 basis points. CRAR ratio of the bank is 22.46 against a regulatory requirement of 10.875. Cost to income ratio of the bank is 65.53, vis-a-vis 97.68% on 31/3/2019. To strengthen its balance sheet, bank is also holding excess provisions as detailed below. NPA provisions at rates above RBI prescribed rates is rupees 93 crores. Not utilizing the option to amortize provisions for frauds, rupees 22 crores. Not considering appreciation for arriving at net depreciation of security receipts book, rupees 9 crores. Not utilizing the option to amortize provisions on loans where asset quality benefits were availed as per RBI's COVID relief, rupees 1 crore. Now we are well poised for growing volumes and are drawing clear strategies to channelize the growth in the right and expected direction, duly coping with the growing aspirations of the customers. Branch expansion, continue to focus on gold loans, stabilization of new MSME vertical, and penetration of two-wheeler vertical to more geographies are the immediate priorities in this direction. Bank is also continuously working on the digital banking platform and other technology-backed initiatives like Digi account opening, LOS, etc., aimed at improving the customer's banking experience. Financial year 20 marked an inflection point for the bank. We have now come out from perennial losses and perennial shortage of growth capital. The virtuous cycle of capital propelling business growth leading to revenue growth catapulting earnings growth, and earnings growth getting plowed back as capital, triggering the cycle again, is now up and running. The pillars of any institution, especially a service institution, are its internal stakeholders, and we are no exception. While appreciating and thanking the CSB team for the good work done in the last financial year, we believe that they are better aligned to execute the planned strategies for financial year 21, which are aimed at taking this institution to greater heights. We value your investment greatly and are committed to offer a long-term value proposition to all our investors. With the right plan, focus, and strategies, we will continue to grow and do everything possible to meet the expectations at all levels. This winning leap is not possible without your continued support and encouragement. I take this opportunity to thank the government, regulators, stock exchanges, and other auditors for their support and guidance during financial year 20. and request continued patronage from all the stakeholders. Thank you.
The notice dated June 22nd, 2020, convening the meeting, the statement of the profit and loss for the year ended March 31st, 2020, and the balance sheet as at the date, together with the reports of the board of directors and the auditors thereon, have been in your hands for some time now. With your permission, I take the notice convening the meeting as read. I now request Mr. Sijo Varghese, Company Secretary, to provide a summary of the auditor's report.
Dear shareholders, statutory auditors AGM Price & Co. has expressed unqualified opinion on the financial statements for the year ended March 31st, 2020. Hence, same is not being read out at the meeting. There were no qualification, observation, or adverse comment on the financial statements and matters which have any material bearing on the functioning of the bank. Statutory auditors' report are available on the page number 149 of the annual report. Thank you, sir.
Comments in the secretarial audit dated June 19, 2020, issued by our secretarial audit, the secretarial auditor of the bank, Messrs. SVJS and Associates, practicing company secretaries, Kochi. Such observations and comments shall be read at the annual general meeting, and attention of members shall be drawn to the explanation and comments given by the board of directors in their report as per clause 13.2 of the secretarial standards of a general meeting. I now request Mr. Sijo Varghese, Company Secretary, to provide a summary of the observations of the secretarial auditors in their report and the board's response to the same.
Dear shareholders, observation by the secretarial auditors of the bank as follows. As per Regulation 17 of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, in bracket Issue of Capital and Disclosure Requirements, Regulation 2018, and the pre-issue capital held by the persons other than the promoters shall be locked in for a period of 1 year from the date of allotment in the IPO. On verification, it was found that pre-issue capital held by the persons other than the promoters was locked in before the date of allotment. So, board's explanation, this was also to be disclosed in the Director's Report 2020. As per SEBI ICDR Regulation 2018 and other applicable regulations, it shares of banks were required to be listed in the time frame of T+6, that is, final day is December 4, 2019. Prior to the listing of the bank and as on the date of the prospectus, the bank had 26,040 shareholders. And to comply with the Regulation 17 of SEBI ICDR regulation, entire pre-issue capital held by the persons other than the promoters was required to be locked in for a period of 1 year with the relevant depositors within the time prescribed by SEBI, which is a precondition to the listing of bank shares on the stock exchanges. Locking out 26,040 shareholders was a complex and time-consuming process, and no relaxation was permitted to the bank to overcome certain lock-in requirements. Accordingly, to ensure the compliance with the timeline prescribed by the SEBI and the direction of the Reserve Bank of India to get the listing done without any delay, bank, as advised by the BRLMs and the registrar of the issue, had taken necessary steps in order to initiate the lock-in process to get the shares listed on December 4, 2019. Thank you.
Before we proceed, I'm pleased to bring to your notice that as required under the Companies Act 2013, the bank had provided you all the facility to cast your votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members may please note that there will be no voting by show of hands. We shall now proceed to deal with the various businesses of the meeting in their order as set out in the notice of the meeting. We will open the floor for any questions by speaker shareholders after all resolutions are tabled. Item number 1, adoption of the bank's audited financial statement for the year ended March 31, 2020, with the report of the Board of Directors and the auditors thereon. Item number 2, reappointment of the retiring director, Mr. Sumit Maheshwari, DIN 069206646. I invite the attention of the members to item 2 of the notice. Item number 3, appointment of statutory auditors, Messrs. BSR and Company LLP, Chartered Accountants, Mumbai, and fixation of their remuneration. I invite the attention of the members to item number 3 of the notice. We would like to inform you that the Reserve Bank of India, via their letter dated January 3rd, 2020, conveyed their approval to the appointment of BSR and Company LLP Chartered Accountants, 5th floor, Lodha Excellus, Apollo Mills Compound, and NM Joshi Marg, Mahalakshmi, Mumbai, as the statutory central auditors of the bank for the year 2020-2021. As the name of the firm was not approved by the Reserve Bank of India at the time of issue of the notice of the meeting, the details of the remuneration proposed to them was not disclosed in the notice. Now, the board has recommended to pay a total fee of rupees 1.10 crore plus taxes as applicable to BSR and Company LLP for the assignment in context of the receipt of approval from the Reserve Bank of India. The rationale for recommending a fee of rupees 1.10 crore as against a fee of 80.23 lakhs is in view of the expected increase in the volume of audit work in the context of anticipated overall business growth post capital infusion, verticalization implemented, and the proposed branch expansion program envisaged in the current financial year. The fees quoted includes all assignments in the capacity of statutory central auditors of the bank, including audit of IFRS compliant financials, as against a payment of fees in the case on a case-by-case basis paid to the outgoing auditors. Profile of BSR & Co. BSR & Co. was constituted on the 27th of March 1990. It was converted into a limited liability partnership, i.e. BSR & Co. LLP, on October 14, 2013. BSR & Co. LLP is a member entity of BSR and Affiliates, a network registered with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The firm confirms that they have complied with the prescribed eligibility norms as per the extent RBI guidelines and Section 139 and other applicable sections of the Companies Act 2013. Accordingly, the resolution as detailed in the notice of the annual general meeting dated June 22, 2020 is proposed to be modified in such a way to appoint BSR & Co. LLP Chartered Accountants as the statutory central auditors of the bank for the year 2020-2021 at a total audit fee of rupees 1.10 crore. Special business. Item number 4, appointment of statutory branch auditors and fixation of their remuneration. I invite the attention of members to item number 4 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 5, to increase the limit of borrowing powers of the board to rupees 5,000 crores from the existing limit of rupees 1,000 crores. I invite the attention of the members to item number 5 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 6, alteration of the Articles of Association of the bank. I invite attention of the members to item number 6 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 7, ratification of CSB Employee Stock Option Scheme 2019. I invite the attention of members to the item number 7 of the notice and explanatory statement on the item. Item number 8, approval for increasing the total number of employee stock options reserved under the CSB Employee Stock Option Scheme 2019. I invite the attention of members to item number 8 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 9, approval of the secondary acquisition of shares through the trust route for the implementation of the CSB Employee Stock Option Scheme of 2019 as amended. I invite the attention of members to item number 9 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 10, approval to the terms of reappointment of Mr. CVR Rajendran as Managing Director and CEO of the bank with effect from December 9th, 2019. I invite the attention of members to item number 10 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 11, payment of variable pay of rupees 45 lakhs to Mr. CVR Rajendran, Director, Managing Director and CEO of the bank for the financial year 2018 and 19. I invite the attention of the members to item number 11 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Item number 12, grant stock options to Mr. CVR Rajendran, Managing Director and CEO of the bank for a period December 9, 2016 to December 8, 2019. I invite attention of the members to item number 12 of the notice and the explanatory statement on the item. Now we will take questions from speaker shareholders and invite speakers who have registered. To avoid repetition, the answers to all the questions will be provided towards the end. Members may also take note that the bank reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time. The company secretary will now announce the name of shareholders who have registered as speaker shareholders one by one.
Dear shareholders, thank you for joining our AGM and for taking time to participate in it. Before we go live with the question and answer session, here are some points to note for your convenience. Name of the speaking shareholders will be announced in turn. Speaker shareholder will be thereafter unmuted by the host. Start speaking shareholders are requested to click the video on button at the center of your screen. Those shareholders who are unable to join through video for any reason can speak through audio mode. Please mention your name, folio number, and the location from you are joining. Each shareholder will be given 3 minutes time for their questions. To avoid repetition, board will respond to all the questions at the end. Once you have a question for your side, you can log off and continue to watch proceedings. In case there is a connectivity problem with the speaking shareholders and next speaker will be asked to join. If connectivity improves, speaker shareholder will be called again to speak. Once other shareholders who have registered complete their turn. If a member faces any technical issue, you may contact the helpline number mentioned in the notice of the AGM. So kindly note that bank has received a request from 6 shareholders to speak at the AGM. The name of the speaking shareholders will be announced in turn. Request moderator to change the mode of participation. Mr. Gupta is the first shareholder.
Hello. Good morning, respected chairman.
Good. So, Mr. Suraj Gupta.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gupta is holding 30 shares of the bank. Now, we request Mr. Suraj Gupta to unmute himself and proceed with the question. Please go ahead, sir.
Good morning, respected chairman and all the person related to the CSB Bank. This is Suraj Gupta here. Thank you for giving an opportunity to speak. Why the current financial position is very low. After listing of IPO, it hits 313. After it was continuously gone down. Low was around 98. Good things regarding company is NPA has declined in recent results. Suggestions: why you are not expanding their bank branch? You should liberalize the policy of credit card. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. We have noted your question and board will answer at the end of the session. Next is Mr. Vinay Vishnu Bidde. Mr. Vinay is holding 700 shares of the bank. Go ahead with your question.
Hello, are you able to hear me, please?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes.
Fine. And you hopefully are able to see me also.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Fine, then I'll start. Chairman of our bank, Mr. Madhavan Menon, MD and CEO, Mr. Rajendran, directors participating in this AGM, bank officers and staff, shareholders, good morning to all of you. After having been a loyal bank shareholder for about 30 years, it gives me some solace to participate in the AGM of our bank. Just to go down the history of both financial performance and events, you will know the acute disappointment that the bank has bestowed on loyal shareholders. To mention a few, inconsistent performances, paltry or no dividends, media news on RBI permissions on investors, investors reported influence of local lobbies, etc. The net result, consistently poor returns on dividends and denial to provide an exchange liquidity by way of listing. To drive home my point, just compare our bank's performance with a regional bank like Karnataka Bank and you will appreciate the disappointment and loss, not just to myself, but others who have been put to it. This after I followed an advice to buy into the bank on the advice of my local market intermediary. Do appreciate that this is not my intention to put cold water on our bank, which is presently celebrating a century of existence. I must now add to the performance in recent years and progress indicated by the annual report to offer a glimmer of hope. I now turn to my questions. My first question, sir, is on AS17, which is the part on segment reporting. My question here is as follows. Retail banking business has grown from about 750 crores to 900 crores, while profits have grown from about 20 crore to about 250 crore. The question on this part is, what were the factors leading to this excellent performance, and do we expect to equally do well this year too? Staying on the same point, also corporate/wholesale banking has grown from about 350 crore to 440 crore. This vertical has turned from a loss of about 11 crore to profit of 18 crore. The question here is that, do we expect the trend to continue this year too? The second question, sir, I request you to refer to financial highlights, page number 19 of our annual report. The questions are as follows. The first question, NIMs have progressed from about 2.0% to 3.2%. Is this trend expected to continue or improve? Question number 2. Hello, am I audible? Hello, hopefully I'm audible.
Yes.
Right. The cost to income ratio has improved from 101% in financial year 16 to 66% last year. The question here, sir, is that what is the target that the management has set for itself this year, and what would be a destination target? Question number 3 is from the pie chart on the left-hand corner of that same page, which gives the loan breakup. From the loan breakup, I have the observations as follows. Gold loans, SME loans, and corporate loans are 31%, 19%, and 26.7% respectively. Questions? Question number 1, which of the loan portfolios are the most profitable for the bank? Question number 2, does the bank consciously intend to move to a different percentage of loan composition over the coming years? Question number 3, retail and two-wheeler loans. Now on this, both together, that is retail and two-wheeler loans, are above 10%. Hopefully, bank is targeting to increase these percentages too. Question number 4 is on page 22, sir, of corporate internet banking. That is the CSB CorpNet facility. The question here is that, can you inform us what are the number of institutions that are using this facility? These were some of the few questions that I have called out from the browsing of the annual report. I may have a few questions which I shall share later on mail and expect a reply from you. But I will have a few more points to place before you. The bank is celebrating 100 years, and loyal shareholders like me and others would be, fair on their part to expect a dividend. But considering, the RBI instructions on dividend, to be deferred in this financial year, or the consideration at least till the end of September, we are expecting, an interim dividend, post the RBI, lifts its, let us say, restrictions on payment of dividend. And definitely in a centenary year, shareholders, like us can expect a bonus. Could you have something to say on this, sir? Now, second thing is on the holding of the AGMs. In prior years, AGMs were held, in physical form, where investors have to participate in person. For the coming years, the expected trend, the experts say, are going to be hybrid AGMs. So assuming that hybrid AGMs will be the trend, and also the problems they present, are well behind us, I suggest that even if we hold physical AGMs, the facility for shareholders far away from the headquarters like us, we provided with the video conference facility to participate at the AGM. And finally, I will not close without a mention of good investor services. I have been very scathing in my remarks on some of the historical experiences, but let me touch upon some of the good points also. Good investor services till date, as also support for the AGM from the secretary. I close your for giving me to the directors and the employees all the best in this difficult year.
Move to the next. Thank you, Mr. Vinay. We will answer you. Yeah.
Sure.
Next, speaker number 3.
Speaker number 3,
Mr. Abhishek J. Mr. Abhishek is holding. Mr. Abhishek is holding 2 shares of the bank. We request Mr. Abhishek to kindly unmute and go ahead with your question.
Am I audible?
Yes, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Abhishek, go ahead. You are audible.
Can I go ahead, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So my name is Abhishek, shareholder of the company. My DP ID IN 30167 and client ID is 41359155, and I am from Chennai. Sir, first of all, I congratulate the management on the eve of 99th annual general body meeting, and this is the first annual general body meeting after that there is no dividend. We are being shareholders even prior to this IPO. So since we are being allotted shares in those days through private placement, and my entire family is a shareholder of the company, so we can see that no dividend in our bank till date. We have not received any dividend. Kindly try to enter into a dividend stream this year, because 2020 pandemic has affected each and every shareholder and their families. So kindly declare a special dividend this year, and a bonus and a special dividend next year also. And you can declare the dividend as soon as approval from RBI. So then lock-in period of 1 year is being for the shareholders management side. Sir, each and every shareholder is equal and should be provided equal opportunity to buy and sell the market, and it is our fundamental right. So page number 59, regarding customer complaints received, pending, it is all the complaints have been addressed. So you may kindly look into. And I have not received any reply for my. Sir, even last year I had an issue that we can see that postal ballots of some other shareholders were being sent to me, for which also I didn't receive any reply from the management side. And why is it so, sir, that in such a short span of 6 to 7 months, we are receiving 244 complaints from the investor? Page number 107, I don't want to highlight on those ones, sir, then we can have a talk with the company secretary also. So page number 107, 108 and 109, regarding the remuneration of key managerial personnel, we cannot see any kind of salary cut or any kind of revision in the managerial KMP salary remuneration part. But due to the pandemic, each and every shareholder and their families are being affected, and since shareholders are not being rewarded any dividend, and since inadequate profit, the board cannot recommend dividend. You should be in a position to please revise your salary or to waive off your salary at least for 1 year, only this particular year, and next year you may also increase the remuneration. Even the manager can take the benefit out of it. So page number 136, you can see number of shareholders 53,552. So we can see only around 6 shareholders joining today's video conferencing. So what is the minimum quorum required for the annual general body meeting, and have we got the minimum quorum in this annual general body meeting? I would like to know from you, sir. So then physical holding constitutes 5.84%. So what steps taken to bring into dematerialization? Any of the board members or the managing KMPs are holding the shares in physical? Still, I would like to know from you, sir. So then page number 165, contingent liabilities. Item number 6, other items for which bank is contingent liable is 73 crore 43 lakhs. So what are the other items involved? And you can only try to provide us a brief on this particular detail, sir. Then point number 10, repairs and maintenance. That is, this year we have spent 13 crores versus the previous year 8 crores. So enormous increase, reason behind. And as we are not replacing our infrastructure, table, chair, furniture year on year, so why so much of increase in the repairs and maintenance part? You can kindly try to provide us a brief on that, sir. Other expenses, that is 68 crores versus 65 crores the previous year. And you can see each and every year we have a huge miscellaneous expenses being incurred. So you can kindly try to reduce the same and also try to provide a breakup for the same in the coming future. Number 210, we can see number of frauds reported, that is 83, and involves 123.48 crores in this fraud. So what is the procedure, steps and measures taken to stop this? And what is the status of the cybercrime complaints our bank has made? And last, sir, even in last year AGM also we had some issues that I have after the AGM only I was being provided by the ballot papers, and finally I can see in the work I was being appointed or not. Those issues may be discussed later. And one more suggestion I would regarding the opportunity, that is when we are recruiting, you may give a job opportunity for the shareholders and the family members who are eligible and qualified. And CSR this year you may dedicate towards the COVID 2019. Hope you will be dedicating towards COVID 2019. And since Tamil Nadu is being affected more when we compare to Kerala, so some part of relief may be given to the TN state government. So then try arranging con call investors on quarterly basis. Our company secretary may arrange a video call with the legal head to learn the perspective in detail. So we are running a legal firm in the name and style of Seven Wells Associates in Chennai. So we are ready to help you out and ready to work with you in resolving the legal matters pertaining to NPA, Surface Act, MODT, mortgage, title deeds, etc. We will oblige and abide by the terms and conditions laid by the bank. Thank you for giving the opportunity, sir. We have great hopes and respect for the bank. Hope 100th year the management will be declaring as a bonus as well as a special dividend. So thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Abhishek, your voice was breaking in between. Okay, maybe there was a bandwidth problem. To a large extent, I have understood your question, so I will try to answer it. But if there is anything omission, you can send an email. We will.
Okay, if anything, no issues, sir. No issues. Thank you.
All the speakers are requested to confine to 3 minutes. Okay, please. Yeah, next one. Mr. Shah.
Mr. P. Jaitsan.
Jaitsan? Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Jaitsan, are you able to hear us? Mr. Jaitsan? Okay. If he is not on the line, then move to the next one.
So now is Mr. Manik Sundaram, AB.
Mr. Mani Sundaram? Mr. A.V. Mani Sundaram. Yeah. He can go ahead.
Audible? Sir, my name is Mani Sundaram. Welcome all the directors, board of directors and chairman, company secretary. 99th AGM of Catholic Syrian Bank. All the shareholders are expecting this next year coming centenary celebration of 100th year Catholic Syrian Bank. And one more. What is the net profit of this year? Non-performing assets comparing 2019 and 2020. And we are requesting small investors in behalf of all the shareholders of Catholic Syrian Bank, giving issue 1:1 bonus and a special dividend to all the shareholders to pull the heart of the shareholders. And one of the other expenses comparing last year and this year, more, nearly 3 times. Please give the back reply to me, sir. And then today's rate is 183, and IPO rate comparing this is very low. What is the net non-performing assets? And also maintenance and repairs are very lower comparing last year and this year. Assuring, sir, please issue bonus and special dividend. Thank you, sir.
Next is Mr. P. Shamsuddin.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Mani Sundaram. You can disconnect. Yeah.
Next is P. Shamsuddin.
Shyam Sundari.
I think he's not joined.
Okay.
Thank you all. With this, we conclude the question session from all the shareholders now, and I hand over back to the chairman.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now you can go.
Thank you all. We have received all the questions, all the comments and observations from all the listed speakers and shareholders. May I now request Mr. C.V.R. Rajendran, MD and CEO, to respond to the questions.
Good afternoon, friends. On the first question, I think the retail banking numbers which Abhishek was telling seems to be wrong. The retail banking, excluding gold is 900 crores. Please unmute us. Yeah. And wholesale banking also. Can you not unmute? Yeah. Wholesale bank. Wholesale banking also, the numbers which are given, I'm not able to understand. It is around 3,500 crores is the book size today. And regarding the profitability, we don't have the vertical-wise profitability statement. We don't have product-wise profitability or vertical-wise profitability yet. Efforts are being made to build this kind of capabilities. We will be in a position to find out each vertical's profitability over a period because there is no proper transfer pricing mechanism, which is very scientific now. What we are given is a revenue breakup might have been given the vertical-wise. Okay, the cost allocation is not very scientific. So profitability of each one is little difficult to say at this point of time. But of course, the yield on wholesale banking, the yield on retail banking, yield on each one of the product is available. And the cost of each one of these vertical, because verticalization is under process now, it will be completed during the current year. So each vertical profitability we will be in a position to give over a period. As far as the NIM is concerned, from 2.04, it has improved to 3.20, as you rightly puts it. It has further improved on the subsequent quarters. Our effort is to increase it. Our target is to reach at least 4% over a period of next 3 years. We are progressing on track. As far as the cost income ratio is concerned, 101 to 66 has happened over a period of 3 years. During the current year, we are trying to contain it further, and our target destination, as you mentioned, will be less than 50, which is for the banking industry. And this should be achieved over a period of 5 years. That is what we targeted. God willing, we may be in a position to reach it within 3 years. The composition of gold loan is 33% roughly now. Our intention is to take it up to 40%. And the retail banking is another 10% other than gold loan, which has to move to 15 to 20% over a period, which means the retail banking, including gold, will move between 50 to 60%. Remaining thing will be spread out between SME and the wholesale banking. Wholesale banking at this point is almost 35%, but over a period, our intention is to bring it down. But it all depends upon the opportunities in the market. There is no watertight compartment per se. If there is an opportunity in the wholesale banking, we would not hesitate to grow in that portfolio. These are all only indicative. As far as the dividend requirement is concerned, as you are aware, we are a loss-making bank for the past 5 years. This is the first year in which we are turned around. I hope that we will be in a position to sustain it over a period. Once there is a sustained profitability, we will start distributing the dividends. I assure you, the stakeholders' interest will be taken care of. Already the price appreciation you might have seen from where it has come to what level now. Somebody has made a mention about the price being below the issue price. As you are aware, the entire financial stocks were beaten up in the market. All the bank shares have undergone a negative growth, but we have recouped most part of it. From 95 rupees low, we have seen after the listing, it has come up to almost 183, 185 rupees now. We don't observe the share market price per se. We continue to perform. Whatever promises we have made, we continue to perform. I can assure you that we are on dot as per our projection up to this time. In spite of COVID, we would like to reach the numbers. All our efforts are to reach the numbers. That will ensure stock market respond positively. The sentiments have to improve in the market. Our numbers are good, as you are aware, and our number will try hard to keep the numbers at this level and better level. Whether we can continue the VC facility for the next conference depends upon the SEBI guidelines. If SEBI permits VC participation in the next year, we will definitely provide this opportunity to the other shareholders also. As far as expansion is concerned, we have started expanding. 10 branches are opened during the last financial year. During the current financial year, we are trying to open another 100 branches for which we are given licenses to the branches. Because of the COVID situation, the finalization of the premises, furnishing and other issues are there. We thought of completing it in the second quarter. Maybe it may get delayed, but before the fourth quarter, we will try to open as many branches as possible of these 100 branches which are permitted by the board. As far as the lock-in of the share is concerned, it is a compulsory requirement from SEBI. All the existing shareholders who are not offered the shares for the offer for sale, their shares will be locked in for 1 year. I am sure it will be opened up in the November end, and you will have the opportunity to trade. And enough trades are happening, enough liquidity is there in the market. That should not be a problem. But a lot of people are still to dematerialize the share. I request all of them to dematerialize and get ready for the trading, because you cannot trade in the non-dematerialized stock. In the physical stock, you cannot trade anymore. Complaints from the shareholders up to 56 is not very high in my opinion, because we have received more than 10 lakh applications and all the complaints are satisfactorily answered, and there are no pending complaints as on date. Nothing such that. And as far as the number of frauds are concerned, the bank has gone for an inspection of or investigation of all the NPA accounts from 2012 onwards to 2018. So all these investigations have resulted in declaration of some of the accounts as NPAs. Okay. These are not the NPAs of these are not the frauds of the last year or the previous year. These are the accumulated frauds over a period of last 7-8 years, which are not reported earlier, which were reported as a fraud after a proper investigation, and it is fully provided for. The RBI gives liberty for us to provide for it over a period of 4 quarters. But last year we took a call that all the frauds will be provided upfront, and we have provided for all these frauds upfront. And these frauds does not necessarily mean the fraud in the normal sense. Even a diversion of funds in a CC account or a OD account is considered as a fraud as per the RBI regulation now. A lot of clients who are diverted the money, and these are all the cases reported as a fraud. And there is no sufficient stock, or they have sold the stock and they are not repaid the bank. This is also a fraud. So these are all the cases included there. I think the incidence of fraud is going down. Apart from that, a bank which is operating in the gold loan, you will be seeing that more frauds are reported. These are all smaller volumes. Normally, it doesn't result in any loss to us. The spurious jewelry, once we find out, normally the customer may good the loss. For the industry as a whole, 0.36 is the NPA and losses, because in the gold loan portfolio, our average is only 0.10%. Okay. The numbers may be more, but resultant loss is not anything significant. Yield on investment has fallen from 6.6 to 6.41 is the question. It is falling further because, as you are aware, the old securities which are in the portfolio might have been sold or might have matured and paid. And the replacement securities which you are buying in the market is only at the current market price. The current yield is only around 5.9 for 10 years, as the yield is going down substantially. And we do have some surplus money which get invested into the portfolio. Today, CDs are issued at 4%, CPs are issued at 3.5%. So naturally, investment yield is likely to go down further. We have invested quite a bit during this current year on the LTRO funds provided by the Reserve Bank of India, which should help us to increase the yield to a certain extent. But overall portfolio, the government securities, STL, CPs, CDs, all these portfolios are giving lesser and less yield. And when we roll over these facilities or refill this HTM portfolio, this is likely to give lesser yield only going forward also. One more question which has come by mail is that when will the promoter stake will be reduced to 15%? The promoter stake will be reduced to 40% over a period of 5 years. Then it will be reduced to 30% over a period of 10 years. And it will be reduced to 15% over a period of 15 years. Other conditions is 73. Only deposits comes to RBI. They don't accept this. As far as the 73 crores is concerned, the contingent liability one question has come up. 24 crores is related to the IT appeals which you have made, and 42 crores is the deposits made with the RBI deposit schemes. Okay. Hopefully we have answered all this. Yeah. That's okay. I think we have answered all the questions. And if there is a further query, you can mail it to us. We'll give more clarification. All the information available in the public domain should be sufficient. But if you need any more clarity, we will give it. Apart from that, after every quarter end, we have an analyst meet. The analyst meet who do a very strong research on our results and raise questions. All those questions and answers provided by the management are also put on the website as per SEBI requirements. That you will get more clarity on those analyst meet calls if you go through. If you have any further queries now, as well as after every quarter results, for the next 30 days, we accommodate the questions, right? After 30 days, we don't take up any fresh questions because then it will become price sensitive for us. 30 days from the date of publication of the results, you can send your queries, we will answer all those queries.
Thank you, sir. With that, I hand over back to the chairman for finance.
Thank you, Sijo. Thank you, Mr. Rajendran. Members may note that the voting on the NSDL platform will continue to be available for the next 30 minutes. Therefore, members who have not cast their vote as yet are requested to do so. The board has appointed Mr. P.D. Vincent, Practicing Company Secretary, Managing Partner, SVJS and Associates, Company Secretaries, as the scrutinizer to supervise the e-voting process. Further, I will request Mr. CVR Rajendran, MD and CEO, to declare the result of the voting and place the results on the website of the bank at the earliest. The voting results with the report of the scrutinizer would be intimated to the stock exchanges and will be uploaded on the website of the bank and the website of NSDL. The resolutions as set forth in the notice shall be deemed to have been passed today, subject to receipt of the requisite number of votes. Now that all items of the notice of the meeting have been discussed and taken up for e-voting, I hereby declare the proceedings as closed pending declaration of the results of the voting. I will take this opportunity to thank all shareholders for attending the meeting and for the kind of cooperation and assistance extended for the smooth conduct of the meeting. I am also taking on record that the prescribed number of members required for constituting a quorum was present throughout this meeting. Thank you very much. Stay safe